The small girl cried quietly. Her name was Lena, and she sat beside her mother on the floor of a metal room on Mars Colony 6. Her lips were dry. Her skin had cracks. Her eyes didn't blink much anymore. The water was gone. Her mother held her tight and tried not to cry, but she failed. A tear rolled down her cheek, even though her body could barely make it. Her voice was soft, weak. Just sleep, Lena. Sleep, baby. Above them, the speakers came to life with a loud beep. A sharp alien voice spoke, smooth and cruel. This is Governor Halser of the Union Command. Your water request is denied. Earth must pay for its delays. Let your suffering remind them. Obey or die. Then silence. Lena closed her eyes. Her mother whispered prayers. The air smelled like hot metal and dust. They were not the only ones. Thousands of Martian colonists were going through the same and back on Earth. Millions saw the message live. The broadcast had been leaked by the aliens themselves to teach Earth a lesson in humility. They expected silence, but far away, under Antarctica's thick ice, in a hidden base built decades ago, someone else had watched. General Victor Hale did not blink as he saw the screen. The broadcast ended, and the room was silent. Around him, officers in black uniforms waited. He stood slowly, his voice was cold. They just made their last mistake. Years ago, Earth had joined the Galactic Union. It was not by choice. When the alien ships first came, humanity hoped for peace, and the Union offered that on paper. But peace came with chains. Earth had to pay tribute, resources, obedience, and worst of all, silence. Every time humans asked for fair treatment, the Union ignored them. When Earth's colonies were attacked, they were told to handle it themselves. When alien ships blocked Earth's trade, they were told to be patient. So, for 60 years, Earth obeyed. It bent, it bowed, it begged. But now, a child had died on livestream, and something inside the human soul broke. In the deep command room, General Hale looked at his officers. Bring Project Revenant online, he said. The officers stared. One whispered, Sir, that's not been activated since I don't care, Hale said. The time for warnings is over. With shaking hands, the officer turned the key and entered the code. Somewhere deep beneath the ice, hidden silos rumbled awake. Old systems came online. Ancient programs flickered on. Earth's darkest weapons had been sleeping. Now, they opened their eyes. High above, near Earth's moon, an alien patrol ship drifted calmly. The Zentari vessel Watcher's Pride was scanning Earth's orbit, laughing as it sent another message to its Union command. These humans, said the ship's captain, are truly broken. They cry and whimper like sick animals. Their Mars colony is nearly dead, and they still have not lifted a hand. The second officer chuckled. Pathetic creatures. I wonder how long they'll last before they start eating each other. The ship floated closer to Earth's atmosphere, low enough to scan cities. They passed over the Atlantic Ocean, laughing. Then the ship's screen went black. All lights shut down. Before the crew could scream, a single laser beam from Earth's surface shot through space and sliced the alien ship in half. There was no warning, no conversation, no mercy. The Watcher's Pride exploded. Silently in the dark, the Galactic Union received the footage hours later. They were shocked. Earth had never fired on a Union ship before. The law said they couldn't, and yet, one of their patrol vessels was gone. No survivors, no escape pods, only a message. The video showed the explosion from a human satellite camera. Then text appeared. On the screen, you watched us starve, now watch us fight. Panic spread through the Union Council. Some demanded war. Others wanted to send a warning. Most just laughed. It's just one shot, they said. Humans don't have the guts for war. But the Union didn't know what Earth had really prepared. In orbit around Jupiter, a small human mining station called Echo 9 received an emergency signal. Aliens were coming. The Grek Syndicate pirates, supported secretly by Union traders, were headed straight for the station. They believed the humans would surrender again. They believed Earth had no fleet. They were wrong. As the pirate ships approached, ready to fire, an old and rusty ship appeared from the shadows. Its surface was scorched, its weapons looked outdated, and it had no flag. The pirates laughed. Then the ship opened fire. Its missiles did not miss. Its lasers did not stop. Within minutes, the entire pirate fleet was gone, and the human ship vanished without a trace. No one knew who was inside. No one claimed the attack. But one thing was clear: the humans had ghosts in space. Back on Earth, General Hale walked through a dark hallway deep inside a mountain bunker. A man in a lab coat followed him. Sir, if we continue this path, the Union will retaliate. They'll send fleets, armies, they'll try to wipe us out. I know, Haley said. And you're still going forward. General Haley stopped and turned. His eyes were tired, but burning with something stronger than fear. For 60 years, we let them insult us, hurt us, kill our children. We did nothing, not because we were weak, but because we were trying to be better, trying to show we weren't monsters. He took a breath, but they kept pushing, and now we snapped back. On Mars Colony 6, Lena, mother woke up. Water was running. Cold, clean water poured into the tank in the room. She blinked, confused. She ran to the panel and saw the message from Earth Defense Command. Mars Colony secured. Drink well. More is coming. Tears filled her eyes. She ran to Lena and lifted her daughter's head gently. The girl drank slowly. Her lips moved. Did the aliens give it back? She whispered. Her mother smiled with rage and pride. No, she said softly. We took it. Far away, in the dark of space, alien races were beginning to talk. Whispers of missing ships, dead fleets, strange attacks with no warning. All signs pointed to Earth. The Galactic Union was angry. But behind their anger, there was something new. Fear. For the first time in decades, they were afraid of humans. In the Earth Council room, a secret group met. Old men and women, former leaders, scientists, and generals. They had warned for years that the day would come, and now it had. They sat around a metal table. On the wall was a single phrase written in large letters. Mercy is not weakness, but cruelty has its price. General Hale stood at the head of the table. This, he said, was our last warning. We gave them one final chance. He looked around the room. No one argued. No one objected. Then he spoke the words that changed history. Prepare for Phase 2. Dark clouds rolled over the Atlantic Ocean. A young girl named Zoya stood on the beach of Old Lisbon, looking up at the night sky. Her father, an engineer, held her hand tightly. They both watched a strange ship in the sky, silver, sleek, and wide like a flying STINGRAY. It was not human. Above them, the alien patrol vessel hovered low, just a few kilometers up. It moved slowly, scanning the city below. Its lights were bright, its speakers loud. This area is now under direct observation, said a voice in the sky. Any hidden weapon systems must be reported. Disobedience will be punished. The aliens had come too close. They believed Earth was still weak, that humans had no weapons left, but they were wrong. In a deep command center under Greenland's frozen crust, a silent red light began to blink. Commander Raina Singh, head of Earth's Orbital Defense Network, leaned forward. Her officers looked nervous. They're in Zone 0, said the radar tech. They're too close, just like last time. Raina's jaw tightened. Do they have permission from the council? No, ma'am, they're testing us. Raina took a slow breath. Then she pressed the button. Activate Sentinel Line. Up in orbit, satellites that had looked like dead space junk for decades suddenly came alive. Panels opened. Lasers hummed. Railguns charged. These were old Earth weapons, never deactivated, only hidden. Their design was ancient, but their aim was perfect. The alien ship hovering over Lisbon didn't see the attack coming. A single high-density slug shot through the sky at Mach 20. It hit the ship's underbelly. The alien vessel cracked, folded in, and exploded mid-air just above the Atlantic. The blast echoed across the sea. Windows shattered along the coast. Zoya and her father ducked. She looked up again, this time in silence. A bright fireball fell into the water. Her father whispered, "They thought we had no teeth." News of the attack spread fast. The Galactic Union was furious. 2 ships lost in 2 weeks. No formal war, no declaration, just quiet, deadly strikes from Earth. At the Union's Grand Council, an old gray-skinned alien named Tolga stood to speak. He was known to be calm and wise. Humans are not like us, he said. They do not show power with flags or speeches. They hide it, and they wait. This. This is their bite. Most laughed. A few did not. Back on Earth, Commander Raina received a secure message from General Victor Hale. Good work, his voice said. But this is just the start. The real fangs are deeper. She nodded. Understood, sir. Do we begin Operation Hollow Mountain? Yes. Tell the sleeping giants to wake up. Deep inside Mount Rainier, an inactive American base that was officially abandoned in 2063 rumbled for the first time in decades. Walls moved, rocks shifted, and behind them, giant hangars opened. Inside were black ships, triangular, sharp, made from old alien tech mixed with human rage. These were the Vanguard-class stealth carriers. No flags, no beacons, no mercy. They were built for one thing: to make anyone who harmed Earth disappear. Meanwhile, the Union sent a warning fleet to Earth. 10 ships, armed but non-aggressive, they said. Their job was to fly past Earth in low orbit and remind humans of Union power. The people on Earth didn't panic. They waited. The fleet arrived. Sleek shining warships showing their weapons but not firing them. Cameras on Earth tracked every move. That's when it happened. From the dark side of the moon, a strange object rose. It was silent. It had no heat signature, no lights, but it moved fast. The object zipped past Earth's defense satellites, curved under the Union ships, and released a cloud of silver spheres, tiny drones. They attached to the outer hulls of the Union ships and exploded, not large blasts, but perfect cuts like surgical blades. Within 60 seconds, all 10 ships began to fall apart silently, piece by piece, drifting like broken toys. The drones disappeared. No signals, no return path, nothing. Only wreckage remained. The Union couldn't explain it. They didn't understand how Earth had hidden these things. They didn't know that the United Earth Coalition had never trusted the Union, and they didn't know that Earth had spent 50 years preparing for this exact moment. General Hale stood in front of a secret camera and sent a message to Earth's remaining colonies. They believe we're breaking rules. They forget this game has no rules anymore. On a prison moon near Saturn, where rebel humans had been kept in cages for decades, something else happened. A prison guard alien, tall and brutal, found the lights flickering. He laughed. Human systems always fail. Then the floor shook. Explosions echoed, and a voice came over the speakers, low, angry, and familiar. Prison break protocol activated. No one left behind. The human prisoners stared, then cheered. Doors opened. Lights returned. And from the shadows walked soldiers in black armor, not Union, not rebels. Earth soldiers, real ones. And they had come back. One alien commander from the destroyed fleet survived barely. He floated in space inside a half-broken escape pod. His leg shattered. He breathed slowly, staring at Earth below. The blue planet looked peaceful. But he knew now it wasn't. A message appeared on the cracked screen in his pod. A human message. It read, "We asked for peace. You gave us pain. Now we give you silence." The pod's power died. In a quiet house on Earth, Zoya and her father sat near a small fire. They had power again. The sky was quiet. She looked up at him. "Papa, are we at war?" He thought for a long time. Then he answered, "No, we were at peace. But they ended that. Now we're just showing what happens when you wake something that was trying to sleep." In the dark, Earth's hidden. Fleets moved, under the oceans, in the asteroid belt, deep inside Saturn's rings. They had waited too long. Now they were done waiting. The ground trembled. Deep under the ice of Europa, a human mining colony struggled to hold on. Red warning lights flashed in every hallway. Loud alarms echoed through the frozen tunnels. People ran, some holding children, some carrying tools, but none with hope. "Seal the west door," someone shouted. "They're coming through." Miners, not soldiers, tried to defend the colony. Their drills were meant for ice and rock, not alien weapons. Outside the tunnels, the Grek syndicate ships hovered low. The Grek were not part of the official Galactic Union, but they were protected by Union silence. They did what the Union would never admit out loud. They raided, they punished, and they destroyed. And now, they had come for Europa. A young boy named Elias hid behind a cargo crate. He was only 13, but he had already lost both parents to the mines. Now he watched as an alien beast taller than a man, with thick, gray skin and yellow eyes, dragged his aunt away. She screamed. Elias couldn't move. The alien laughed. "Your Earth cannot protect you now, little one." Elias closed his eyes. Then the air changed. A deep vibration passed through the walls. Something powerful had entered orbit. Something old, and angry. Up above Europa's icy surface, a single ship appeared from the shadows. It was black, long. Its metal hull was cracked from old battles, but its weapons glowed hot. It had no name, no flag, no official records. It should not have existed, but it did. And its crew had only one mission: respond without mercy. The warship locked onto the Grek fleet. No warnings, no diplomacy. Its cannons lit up the night sky. Inside the colony, the aliens heard the first explosion, then another, and then silence. One alien shouted, "Report." "Who's firing?" Who? A massive piece of burning metal crashed through the ceiling above. The alien was crushed. Screams followed. Outside, the Grek fleet was dying fast. Their shields didn't hold. Their ships broke apart. In minutes, everything was fire and falling wreckage. The black warship never said a word. Inside the command room of the human warship, Captain Aria Voss stood tall. She was an old soldier retired years ago, but Earth had called her back, and she had answered her crew. War no ranks, only dark suits and grim eyes. They were ghosts, pulled from old files and long-forgotten missions. One officer spoke. Targets eliminated, no survivors. Arya nodded. Good. Send no message, leave no trace. She stared at the ice moon below. These people were left to die, she whispered. No more. In the tunnels, Ilias opened his eyes. Silence. The lights flickered back on. The alien bodies lay motionless. His aunt crawled back to him, crying. It's okay, she whispered. We're safe now. Above them, a drone floated down from the ceiling and projected a message. This colony is now under Earth Defense Command protection. Water, power, and food will be restored in 12 hours. Help is coming. No one cheered. They were too shocked to speak, but deep inside, they felt something they had not felt in years. Hope. News of the attack on Europa spread fast. The Galactic Union tried to downplay it. A misunderstanding, they said. Unauthorized pirates. Earth involvement, unconfirmed. But everyone knew the truth. The Grek were gone. Erased. And only one power could do that so fast. Earth had stepped into the shadows and lit them on fire. In a secret meeting on the Union homeworld, leaders of many alien species argued loudly. They are unstable. They are dangerous. They're just humans. Someone sneered. We can still control them. But then an old ambassador stood. She had seen Earth's history. She had studied human wars, and her voice was quiet. No, she said. We can't. Not anymore. Back on Earth, General Victor Hale watched the satellite feed from Europa. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just said, mark the colony as secured. Move to the next target. Someone in the room asked, what if the Union retaliates? General Hale looked at them. They already did. For 60 years. Now it's our turn. On Europa, people began to rebuild. Engineers from secret Earth stations arrived quietly, bringing fresh equipment, medicine, food, and warm clothing. No flags, no reporters, just silent help. Elias helped clear debris near the east tunnel. He found a broken piece of metal, of the alien armor that had once chased him. He picked it up and threw it into the fire. Then he looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, humans had fought back for him. For all of them. Aboard the Black Warship, Captain Arya received new orders. Her next mission was even deeper. She looked at her crew. Set course for Titan Station 3. There are reports of a blockade. Union, no, she said. Something worse. Her eyes narrowed. And this time, we're not just sending a message. We're making a promise. In the heart of the Earth Council, new files opened. Old sleeper agents reactivated. Forgotten ships unburied. Plans once thought too brutal, now considered necessary. Earth had been patient. Earth had begged for peace. But now it was a fire in the dark, and the galaxy was starting to feel the heat. It started with whispers. A cargo ship from the Zekan Republic disappeared near the edge of human space. No SOS, no wreckage, just gone. Then a small Union patrol, sent to investigate, sent back a single message before going silent. We found it, but it's not possible. That was 2 weeks ago. Now 6 more ships were missing. No one knew what was happening until someone finally saw it. Captain Yulta, of the Union warship Spinebreaker, was not afraid of humans. He had fought them before, many years ago, during the Trade Rebellion. He remembered them as soft, undisciplined, always hoping for peace. That night, his ship was patrolling near the abandoned human colony of Proxima 5. The place had been quiet. For years, suddenly the alarms went off. Unidentified contact approaching fast. The officer said, human, Yulta asked. No signals, no transponders, no response to hails. Just something big. The captain walked to the main screen. Outside the stars shimmered then shifted. Something blocked them. A ship, black, silent, covered in battle scars. Old Earth design, but not listed in any records. A name was barely visible on the side. U.S. Retribution, Yulta S. Eyes widened. That ship was destroyed 30 years ago. He never finished his sentence. The black ship opened fire without warning. From afar, a Union listening post caught the entire battle, but calling it a battle was generous. The Spinebreaker was torn apart in under 40 seconds. No survivors. The U.S. Retribution vanished back into the darkness, as if it had never existed. The Galactic Union sat in silence. One council member whispered, "They have awakened their dead fleet." "No," said another. "Worse, they never buried them." Back on Earth, General Victor Hale stood in a quiet, windowless room. Screens on the wall showed red dots each, marking the confirmed return of an Earth warship thought lost. Ships destroyed, missing, or disbanded decades ago. They were coming back, but they weren't following orders. because they weren't part of Earth's normal command. They were something else, something old, something buried deep in Earth's darkest protocols. In a classified facility under the Himalayas, Commander Reina Singh met with Halle Sir. She said, "We've intercepted at least 6 transmissions from Ghost Fleet units. They're not requesting permission, they're choosing their own targets." Hale nodded. "That's the protocol, but it's dangerous. They operate on old war code. No negotiations, no trials, just execution." "That's exactly what we need," he said coldly. Elsewhere, far from any planets, a Zarnian slaver station floated peacefully. They thought they were untouchable. They traded in humans from broken colonies, illegal but protected by bribes. Late at night, one of their lookouts saw something odd. A human ship appeared without warning, no heat trail, no broadcast. Just one message, sent in an old Earth dialect. "We see you." Then came the weapons. The slaver station was gone in 67 seconds. No escape pods made it. On a distant moon, a small alien child cried inside a refugee shelter. His mother tried to calm him. "It's okay," she whispered. "They only target the cruel ones. If we are kind, they won't hurt us." But even she wasn't sure anymore, because the rules were changing, and no one could stop what had been unleashed. Captain Arya Voss, now commanding the UES Nemesis, reviewed reports in silence. More ghost ships had activated. The Black Dawn, the Silent Roar, the Judgment, all supposed to be gone. But none of them had truly died. They had waited hidden in deep space, in dark bunkers, under oceans. Waiting for Earth's final command, waiting for the day Earth snapped. And now they hunted. One alien crime lord on the Rimworlds made the mistake of mocking humanity publicly. "I spit on their pain," he said on live transmission. "Let them cry. We rule the stars now." That same night, his palace exploded from orbit. A single human drone left behind a note. No more warnings. The Union grew desperate. They formed a new committee control protocol Alpha to find and stop these ghost ships, but it was already too late. The ghosts didn't leave trails. They didn't answer questions. They didn't care about peace treaties. They only understood one thing: justice through fire. In the shadows of the asteroid belt, 2 human ghost ships met for the first time in years. They didn't speak. They just sent simple data packets to each other. Coordinates, targets, intel. Then they separated again. No emotions, only duty. Only the promise they made long ago. If Earth ever breaks, we become its wrath. On Earth, people began hearing stories. Old war heroes gone missing suddenly reappearing. A father thought killed in orbit shown on a deep-spaced feed, wearing black armor. Ships named in history books suddenly seen on alien radar. Some were afraid, some felt proud, but everyone knew one truth. Humanity was no longer waiting, it was hunting Elias. The young boy from Europa saw one of the ghost ships in orbit weeks later. He watched it from a hilltop, the sky dark above. It looked like a shadow with engines cold. "Silent Dot," he whispered to himself. "That's ours." His aunt stood behind him. "It doesn't have a flag." He shook his head. "It doesn't need one." In the final scene, the camera pans over a silent battlefield in space. Alien ships in pieces. No fire, no lights. Just cold metal and drifting corpses. In the distance, a single Earth warship floats away. Its engines flare once, then vanish into the void. The Grand Council Hall of the Galactic Union had not been this full in decades. Thousands of species, gray, blue, scaled, glowing, sat in their high seats. Delegates from every corner of the galaxy gathered, their eyes fixed on the center platform, where the final vote would be taken. At the heart of it all stood Chancellor Virel, a tall, elegant alien with silver skin and dark, blinking eyes. He raised his hand. "Today," he said loudly, "we vote on the future of the human race." The hall fell silent. Earth has committed attacks without warning. Their ships destroy Union patrols. They deny our laws. They awaken old war machines. We must act. Some nodded, some cheered, others stayed quiet. Others stayed quiet in the shadows of the back row. Ambassador Coral, a short red-scaled being, whispered to his assistant, "This is not a vote for justice. It's a vote for fear. They don't want peace with Earth, they want control." The assistant looked worried. "Do you think the humans will retaliate?" Coral didn't answer. Instead, he noticed something strange. A large metal crate had been delivered to every delegate station. It sat sealed, cold, with no label, just one symbol burned into the side. A cracked Earth, bleeding fire. "Begin the vote," said Chancellor Virel. One by one, the names were called. Some voted for sanctions. Others voted for military force. A few even said extermination. No one voted for peace. No one. until it was too late, just before the vote was complete. A soft voice echoed in every delegate's earpiece. You had a choice. Then, all the crates opened automatically, screams followed. Inside each crate was a broken piece of a Union starship, melted metal, bloodied helmets, pieces from ships declared missing, and beside each piece a small carved stone. Each stone had one word burned into it. Watched. Chancellor Virel stepped back, eyes wide. What is this? An old ambassador from the Thalax system stood up slowly. They are not warning us anymore. Another delegate trembled. They're sending proof. Then the lights in the hall flickered. A new message played. This time across every screen, a human voice, calm, clear. For decades you watched us suffer. You called us savage, yet you traded with slavers who took our children. You punished us for defending ourselves. You laughed at our dead, and called it law. You were warned. Now we watch you. This is not war. This is the bill. And your debt is due. All screens went black. A second later, a live feed appeared. A Union fleet, 30 ships, strong, was burning near the edge of Thorn Nebula. No human ships were visible. Just wreckage. Then a single Earth warship for 1 second, just one, US Gravedigger, then it vanished. Panic broke out in the hall. Ambassadors ran. Others called for their security teams. A few collapsed from shock. In the chaos, Ambassador Coral stood still. He had warned them. He had studied Earth history. He knew what this meant. Not revenge. Punishment far away on Earth. General Victor Hale watched the chaos unfold through a secret feed. He said nothing, but the officer beside him asked, "Sir, was that too far?" Hale looked at him. "They voted with blood," he said. "We just showed them what it costs." Captain Aria Voss stood aboard the UES Nemesis, watching a new set of coordinates appear on her screen. The target was not a military base, not a fleet. It was a banking center deep in space, a neutral zone, the heart of Union currency. Her officer whispered, "That's not war." She nodded. "No, that's collapse." Meanwhile, people on Earth continued to live mostly in silence. Some feared retaliation, others began to believe in something deeper, not pride, not anger, but freedom, the kind that only comes when you stop asking permission to survive. In a quiet Mars classroom, a young girl raised her hand. "Teacher, will the aliens attack us again?" The old man looked out the window. "No," he said softly. "They won't." "Why not?" He smiled sadly. "Because now, they're afraid of us." In the last scene, a special room on the Union homeworld glows red. Emergency meeting, the highest level. Inside, leaders whisper. Not about how to stop Earth, but if it's even possible anymore. Because they now understand. Earth didn't start a war. Earth ended a lie. The sky above Earth turned black. But it was not night, it was not clouds, it was something worse, shadows, with engines. Massive warships, sleek, silent, and blacker than space itself, rose from Earth's hidden launch bays. From under oceans, from deep deserts, from the cold dark of the moon, one by one, they climbed into orbit, blocking out stars. This was not a show. This was Operation Iron Sky, and no one was ready for it, Commander. Raina Singh stood inside control room, Omega beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Her fingers danced across the console. Behind her, officers watched as thousands of small blinking dots began to fill the screens. Each dot was a ship. Each ship belonged to Earth, and none had been detected until now. She pressed the final button. "All units," she said into the global comm. "Initiate blackout sequence." In a distant star system, a peaceful alien station was transmitting normal traffic ship movements. Supply schedules, family messages. Then the screens went dead. All communication vanished. The same thing happened across 12 systems. Then 30, then 80-3. Within just 12 hours. 80% of Galactic Union communications went silent, satellites fried, relays destroyed, quantum links burned out. No one knew where the attack came from. They never saw the weapons, they only saw the effect. Silence in the dark. The UES Nemesis moved like a shark in black water. Captain Aria Voss received a message. No words, just coordinates. She nodded. Launched the Hounds. Dozens of cloaked drones were released from her ship. They flew silently into hyperspace, each targeting a known communication relay used by the Union. They didn't explode, they cut. Precision. Surgical. In space. Even a tiny cut in the right place can kill a machine the size of a city. And that's what they did. On the Galactic Union's capital world, chaos exploded. Ships couldn't receive orders. Fleets were stranded. Supply lines froze, and above all, fear spread. Because it wasn't just sabotage, it was a message. Inside a war chamber, Chancellor Virel shouted, "Who is doing this?" His top admiral said, "Earth." The Chancellor laughed bitterly. "But they haven't even declared war." The admiral nodded. "Exactly. That's why we've already lost." Far from all of them, in a secret Earth base on Titan, General Hale stood in silence. He looked at the massive screen showing dead systems, zones where Earth had completely cut Union communications. One of his officers spoke quietly. "Sir, we've collapsed 120 networks. The Union has no active link between its inner and outer fleets." Hale nodded. "And the damage? No human casualties. Only systems, equipment, satellites." "Good," Hale said. "Let them scream into the dark." Meanwhile, Earth's civilian population had no idea what was happening, but slowly they began to see signs. More ships in the sky, less fear in their leaders' eyes, more silence from their enemies. A strange calm began to grow, not peace, but power. In a pirate station on the edge of known space, 3 alien smugglers sat drinking, watching a small screen showing Union propaganda. One of them said, "Humans are finally finished. The Union will respond." The second one laughed. "Respond with what? Their fleets can't even talk to each other." The third stayed quiet. He pointed to the ceiling dot above them. A sound hummed. Deep, mechanical dot. Then a ship passed over. Huge. Dark dot, no lights, no name. The station shook dot, and then nothing dot, just fear, back in orbit. Captain Aria Voss stood in front of a screen showing 20 Union fleets cut off, isolated, blind. She whispered to herself, "They never thought we'd strike the sky." Her second-in-command asked, "What now?" "We cut deeper," she said. "They made our voices silent for decades. Now we return the favor." In deep space, Union Command attempted to send backup to a colony under Grek attack, but their orders never reached the fleet. Because that fleet's comms had been surgically erased by Earth's drones for hours earlier. The colony fell and the Union was blamed. Earth didn't fire a shot, they just made their enemies deaf. On Europa, Elias and his aunt now lived in a new habitat, clean, warm, safe. He was looking at the stars again. This time, he saw Earth ships pass overhead, black triangles, moving in silence. He smiled. They're not hiding anymore. Aboard the Black Dawn, one of the oldest ghost ships, Captain Merrick sent a private message to General Hale. "You cut their tongue. Shall we now break their spine?" Hale replied with only 2 words. "Not yet." Because Earth wasn't done, that this was not victory, that this was just step 1. In the final scene. Deep in space, Union engineers finally managed to restart a single relay. It buzzes back to life. But instead of system data, it plays a video. A single human child, standing on Earth, looking straight into the camera. She says, "We asked you to leave us alone." She smiles. Then the feed cuts, and the stars go quiet again. Smoke rose from the sky. It was not Earth, it was them now. The planet Celor. Once a rich alien colony burned silently in orbit. No sound, just ash drifting through space. Its green forests were black, its golden cities shattered. No bombs, no armies. Just one silent human ship seen for only 4 seconds before it disappeared. On the ground, surviving aliens cried out. They had tried to surrender, they had sent messages, but their words never reached Earth, not because Earth couldn't hear them, but because Earth didn't care anymore. General Victor Hale sat at a steel desk, far underground, in Earth's Arctic Command Corps. He was calm. In front of him was a list of worlds, each marked not as a military target, but as a debt. Planets that traded human slaves. Planets that gave the Union fuel to attack Earth. Planets that looked away when children screamed for help. One officer entered and asked, "Sir, they're offering peace now." Hale didn't look up. "They offered silence when we needed peace. Now they can keep both." Captain Aria Voss stood aboard the UES Nemesis, orbiting a gas giant near the Kavari system. Below was a Union shipyard, once home to cruisers, destroyers, and carriers. Now, it was empty, floating metal, melted frames, oxygen tanks leaking into vacuum. Her orders were simple: make them remember. On the planet Jentha, a blue-skinned elder named Raoul stood outside the high hall, waving a white flag of surrender. He looked up into the sky. "They will see our regret," he whispered. Behind him, thousands stood with him, children, families, elders. No weapons. Just fear. A ship passed overhead, long, silent, no lights, no flags. Raoul closed his eyes, but no fire came. Instead, a message echoed from the sky. "You are not forgotten, you are not forgiven, but you are not the target." Relief washed over the people, but so did dread. If they weren't the target, then someone else was. 20 light-years away. The planet Sorin glowed red from orbit. It had once laughed at Earth, now it was only fire. No rescue ships came, no signals left its atmosphere, only one word was later found burned into the ground by an unknown human drone. Paid. In a private chamber on the Union capital, Chancellor Virel stared at dozens of reports. Entire fleets had vanished. Relay systems melted. And now, colonies were burning. He held his head in shaking hands. We should have killed them when we had the chance, he muttered. His advisor spoke. Sir, they are burning the planets who betrayed them. Virel looked up slowly. All planets betrayed them, and then the room fell silent in the outer colonies. Panic spread, refugees flooded, neutral systems. Aliens once proud of hurting Earth now hid in bunkers. Some offered gifts, minerals, money. Others offered prisoners, trying to give up those responsible for past crimes. But Earth didn't answer. No broadcasts, no demands, just ships, moving, targeting, burning. Captain Marek of the Black Dawn read the next name on his ship's list. Eureka. A small mining moon 12 years ago. Its governor had ordered 400 human workers sealed in a mine to suffocate. No one had punished him. Now, Earthward. On the moon, the governor's son pleaded with his father. Please, run. We have ships. We can beg for forgiveness. But the old man shook his head. They're not coming to talk. An hour later, a sonic weapon never seen before was dropped. No buildings were destroyed, but every control system on the moon failed. Lights, doors, ships all dead. Then the atmosphere generators stopped. Within 4 hours, the colony froze in silence. Another red line was marked across Earth's list. Back on Earth, Elias stood in his new school on Europa. He looked at a history map showing burned colonies. Are we the bad guys now? He asked. His teacher, old ex-soldier, thought carefully. We're not the good guys anymore, Elias. Then what are we? The teacher paused, then said softly, we're the memory they can't erase. Inside the Earth Defense Corps, Commander Raina Singh whispered. To General Hale, they're offering total surrender now. Even the Thalax, even the Vaughn. Hale asked. What's the cost they're offering? They're begging for mercy. Hale finally looked up. We asked for mercy too, once. He pressed one more button. A new operation name appeared on screen. Final ledger in the final scene. A small group of alien children hide in a broken house on a colony called Ravar. Above them, a ship floats silently. It does not fire. It does not speak. It only waits, because Earth is not just burning worlds. It is watching now, closely. And for the first time in galactic history, everyone else is terrified to blink. The last challenge came from the strongest. Lavanak Empire had stayed quiet while Earth punished colony after colony. They watched worlds burn. They watched fleets vanish. They watched entire systems fall silent. But they still believed Earth was bluffing. They believed fear was Earth's only weapon, so they prepared their answer. A full invasion. Planet Drazul, home of the Varnak High Command, prepared for war. Its skies filled with warships, thousands of them. Their soldiers were tall, armored, born to kill. They gathered in massive formations, holding banners of blood and flame. The Varnak Emperor stood before them and roared, humans hide behind shadows. Let them face us in daylight. The army cheered. The invasion was ready, but Earth didn't wait for them to arrive. They came first. Above Drazul, at 0300 planetary time, the stars blinked out. Not because of clouds, because of ships. 127 human warships, uncloaked at once. They did not send warnings. They did not demand surrender. They opened every bay, and they descended. General Victor Hale stood aboard the UES Hammerfall. This was Earth's biggest ship, a beast carved from decades of hidden tech and ancient rage. He spoke into the comms calmly. This is not revenge. This is memory. You dared. Now you learn why no one else does. The first wave hit the Varnak space stations. Not with missiles, with sound. A frequency attack designed to shut down Varnak tech. Their ships spun out. Their screens went black. Pilots screamed as control panels sparked and fried. Then came the real strike. Human stealth bombers dropped kinetic rods, metal spears moving faster than sound. They didn't explode. They pierced like needles through flesh. Space stations cracked apart. Varnak fleets died before they could even launch. On the ground, the Varnak Emperor watched the sky burn. His soldiers trembled. He screamed, fire, everything. They did. But Earth's ships weren't standing still. They blinked in and out of cloaking. Lasers bent around their holes. Drones moved faster than Varnak eyes could track. Every shot missed, and every human shot hit. In one corner of the battle, a small Varno colony called for surrender. They lit beacons. Sent messages. No response. Only one drone landed. It played a message from a human child's voice. When we begged, you laughed. When we cried, you called it weakness. Now it's your turn. The beacon shut off. The colony wasn't destroyed, but Earth didn't need to destroy it. They just left it behind. Emptied. No light. No food. No ships. A ghost town in space. Back aboard. The Nemesis, Captain Arya Voss, watched Razul's cities from orbit. They were old, powerful, proud. She pressed a button. A single rod dropped from orbit. It fell at Mach 30. It did not explode. It crushed the Emperor's hall into dust. No throne. Remained no leader left. Only silence on Earth. People gathered to watch the transmission. They saw what the galaxy saw. The fall of the last world that dared. No cheering. Just quiet. Because they weren't proud. They were done. General Hale stood before the United Earth Council. They will not rise again, he said. A member asked, is this peace? Hale shook his head. No, it's never again. Later that week, the Galactic Union voted to disband its high command. They sent Earth a message. Not a threat, not a plea, just a statement. We understand. Earth didn't reply. They didn't need to. Far on Europa. Elias sat with his class, looking at a new map. Many planets now had red marks. A girl asked, what happens next? The teacher smiled sadly. Next, no one forgets again. In the last scene, a single human ship drifts through deep space. No signal. No flag. Only one word painted in red on its hull: remember. And behind it, the stars shine bright again, but no one dares reach for them, because Earth isn't angry anymore. It's awake,